on this week's episode on today's show, we'll be looking at an occurrence that people find very difficult and an area people often lack. This is the area of creative thinking and innovation. And there needs to be improvements in our personal thinking, and this brings me about this submission gives me why we should be talking about today's show on creativity in our lives. So there needs to be organizational creativity that leads to innovation, and there is also needs to be creativity at country level, and that will yield progress and development. So all being said, the Global Innovation Index, GII, is an annual ranking of countries by their capacity. I mean, in terms of success and innovation. And in 2017, our GII was 21.9, and in 2018, it was 22.4. And in 2019, I think it was 23.9. I'm not so sure, just trying to gather a little bit of research here. So for Nigeria, the country needs to do more as it drops 7 places to rank. That's 121 out of 131 compared to 114th ranking in Global Innovation Index in 2019. So to discuss this issue from the angle of creative thinking, from personal life to organizational level up to country's global position in creativity, is an expert in creative thinking, a brand strategist. He is Chris Moweta. I hope I pronounced that name well.
Yes, you did.
Hey, Stanley, you need to give me shakara right now. You know how I mother people's name. Thank you. All right, he is the managing director of Black and Precious Communications, and he is someone that we all need to look up to right now in terms of dynamic and innovative creative think tank, and extraordinary brands and communication strategies. Welcome again, Chris. Many thanks for creating time to be here with me today.
Thank you very much for having me, Kike. Thank you.
All right. So I think let's just dive straight into the conversation today, because I know that there are a lot of things that a lot of juice that we need to get out of you. So can you first let's allow our audience to meet you more. So can you please, at least in 1 minute, introduce yourself to our audience, our listener. Who is Chris Moweta?
You've actually done all the introduction, okay. I should say. Chris Moweta, like you rightly said, is a brand and marketing communication expert, with an experience spanning over 15 years. Also, I'm someone who is given to new things, to creativity and innovation. And because my industry demands such, I've worked on various brands, both within and outside Nigeria. And that has given me the opportunity to get quite a whole lot of information and experience concerning different things, because every opportunity I had to work on any brief with my team, of course, gave me the platform to learn new things, to get new information, and also to squeeze out the creative juice in not just me, but from everyone who's worked with me. Chris is me.
All right. Thank you for that. Going straight to our topic today, which is about problem solving, creativity, and innovation. And we know that you're an expert in all of these areas. So what is creativity and what is the innovation, and how can it help individuals or as a nation?
Okay. Creativity is broad. Creativity is also simple. Creativity is about how you want to be seen, how you want to be heard, how you want to be experienced, how you want to be related with. That's creativity. It now depends on the individual or the elements involved. How do you want this to express your thoughts, your ideas, your opinions about certain things? So that communicates, all of this put together is poured into whatever element you want to carry that creativity and express creativity to the outside world. Sometimes you see a material. It could be maybe a TV ad. It could even be the outlook of how your environment looks. Okay. I had a discussion with someone a few days ago, and just yesterday actually, and she came into an environment and she was wondering how the whole environment was conceptualized in such a way that it had a bit of element, everything from the moment you walked into that environment, everything begins to talk to you, engage you, from the walls to the furnitures to the plants, everything, the lightings, everything engage you. They tell you something. So that's about creativity. But all of that was someone's or a group of people's idea, thoughts, and opinion put together, and they made that to be expressed in various forms. Now, when you talk about innovation, like someone rightly said, innovate or die. Meaning there has to be a constant and a continuous thinking of changing the status quo. New ways of doing the same things, but in a better way. So that's where the innovative thinking comes in. That's where strategic thinking comes in. And for this to happen, it means that, every day, one of the things that I've learned over the years is that when I'm transiting, I allow things to talk to me. Everything around me, when I'm transiting, I allow the things around me to talk to me. When I'm playing with a little child, I allow the things that he or she says, the way he talks, the way he communicates, the way she gesticulates, all of these, I allow them to talk to me. And I draw things from them. So daily, in our day-to-day activity, in our day-to-day life, things are always talking to us, expressing creativity, expressing ideas, expressing thoughts, expressing opinions. But what we do with this is actually what determines the kind of creative environment or creative delivery that we bring to the outside world. Because you could have so much in you, as a matter of fact, but not be able to express it. Okay? But my industry is such that there is a demand that is placed on you. There is a demand that is placed on you to think. We usually say that we're paid to think for other people. So someone like Kike pays me to think and create. She has an idea, but she's trying to communicate this idea. So I listen to Kike. She talks to me. This is how I want my environment to be. This is how I want my home to be. This is how I want to communicate. But I don't have the right words. So you go and put this together, maybe in colors, maybe in types, maybe in forms, maybe in shapes, maybe in pictures. But all of these things are my thoughts, my opinions, but I need it expressed. Okay? So that's all about creativity. Yes, in a nutshell. Right. Because it's a whole lot.
All right. Many thanks for that submission. So listening to you, I cannot help but ask, because I know that the greatest scientist of the last century, according to him, that's about Einstein, so to say. I hope Einstein. Yeah, he said we cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them in the first place. So could that be a reason to justify that individuals, we need to raise our problem solving skills to ourselves or to another level so that we can find solutions for them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that I tell my team is that, which is, I think it's common knowledge to everyone, is that you wouldn't use yesterday's solution to solve today's problem. That might not work. So there is a place for strategic thinking. Strategic thinking. The problems might be the same, but the solution may require a different approach to it. So the first thing is for you to be able to identify what the challenge is. What is it that I want to solve? Okay. Has it ever been solved? Is there a similar problem in the past? How was it solved? What was the result? Different approach. Now, is it the same? Are we operating from the same terrain, the same environment, the same factors? Are they still affecting the same, influencing the same problem? If the answer is no, it means that the approach has to change. Sometimes, even when the answer is yes, there could be other dynamics that have come to play, which could be different from the experiences that were present in the past. So these are things that one needs to have constantly in view for you to be able to prefer new solutions, new strategies, new ideas, new innovation all the time.
I like that. Listening to you again, let's bring it back home to our country or to our nation, so to speak. Anybody can sit down and analyze Nigerians' problem from a marathon stretch, but we see that there's many shouts on problems. Like I normally tell people, problem not the finish.
Absolutely.
So only a few offer solutions. So my question is, how can we raise our problems in our problem-solving culture? How can we create a problem-solving culture where people don't have to keep lamenting and look for how they can find solution in some challenges that they face?
One of the things that readily comes to mind is that a lot of people talk, but fewer people take action. Yeah. That you desire to do something doesn't mean that thing would be done. So for our nation, let's start from you and me. What are the changes you want seen in your immediate environment? What are the changes I want seen in my immediate environment? The first thing is to identify them. The second thing is not to talk about them, is to begin to take action to address them. It could only be you starting out the first time. But by the time you get on it, people see that you're doing it, you influence other people, you get them to be part of it, they see the positive change. Before you know it, from that, your immediate environment, it extends to a larger reach, a larger audience. Then the influence continues. But that's not been the case with us here in Nigeria. Like you rightly said, a lot of people are analysts. They know the solution. They know what the government should do, what the governor should do, what the president should do, what this person should do, what that person should do. But how about what they should do, starting from where they are?
From individuals.
Yes, from individuals. Are they doing it? Most probably not. So what should they do? Begin to take action. Unless and until desires translate to tangible actions, we're not going to see the results.
Many thanks. Let me use this opportunity to open our phone lines. You can call us on 0700 923 923 923. Again, 0700 923 923 923. And of course, you can send us a WhatsApp message on 0817 313 6193. Let's hear your perspective of the topic at hand. Let's hear your queries, your comments. If you have any comments for our guests, please go ahead, ask him. This is the only opportunity you have right now to ask our guests all the questions, because there won't be another opportunity. Many thanks again for being in the studio with me, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So, some don't even see that there is a problem in the first place. How do we we have a caller on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is my name. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Okay, many thanks for calling. What's your contribution today?
Yes. So I really appreciate our guest. Okay. Everybody knows the what, like you said. But the how. Nobody is talking about the how. Instead of, okay, how do we do it? What's the approach? Bring your experience to bear. You will see that here, he's not doing it right, he's not doing it right. This is our country, we don't have another thing. My take is, offer solution, however small, from within that our small community, starting from my street. If I see something bad, what can I do? Pricing from CBA, what can I do? This place is dirty. Is there anything we can do to help the system? If from reporting, you see a falling pole, you see a broken pillar, can you report to the authority? Is there anything you can do to the local environment to assist? If we bring this together, it culminates to the improvement that we are looking for. So it's not just about the governor. I don't know when last year, the governor comes to my street, he doesn't need to, there is a structure. But we that are here today, we have responsibility. How often do we talk to each other? I belong to a CDA. Do people attend meetings? Do we get feedback? Useful suggestions, small things contribute us. In those economies that work, that's what people do, volunteering. But here we wait for government to do everything, we continue to complain. I believe we can do better as Nigeria. We do it.
All right, many thanks for that. I think, it just hits the nail on the head regarding a lot of things that you've said thus far. But, going back to what I was saying earlier, some don't even see that there's a problem in the first place. And how do you want people to even now come to the submission of solution? Because as far as they're concerned, there's no problem. So my question now is, are there steps to identification of problem that you can enlighten our viewers, those who are listening to us right now?
To actually think that there is no problem where there's a problem is a problem.
Yes.
So there's a problem.
Yeah.
So the first thing, one of the things that we need to begin to do individually, when we talk about government, we talk about the larger society. These are made up of people, not trees, not buildings, not blocks, not ions and metals. These are people. So they are real people. They have their own life. They have their own thoughts. They have their own opinions. And what we need to do, just as said earlier on, is to start from where you are. I give an instance. A few weeks ago, I was driving home, and I think I had a bottle of water I'd taken. Something in me kept telling me, just fling it off the window. It was late anyway, no one would see you. But I had it check in me. I said, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that because right in front of my office, I had seen the drainage. They brought in some workmen and they were clearing the drainage. 90% of what came out from that drainage were PET bottles, empty cans, and all of that. And I was just thinking, if people had the orientation, that's just an example, as insignificant as that might seem. That's just an example. So I thought of it, if I'm able to dispose of this empty can of water properly, it will save the environment. It will save the government, okay? The resources they would have used in rechanneling the drainages and all of that, they put it into something else. That's an orientation. Now, we now begin to mentor other people, reorientate them. You see something that is not right, you don't say, it doesn't concern me. You tell the person, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have parked this way. You shouldn't have thrown this way. You shouldn't have acted this way. So that's another thing, because the people involved, just like you said earlier on, they don't know there's a problem. So it's possible the person could be ignorant of of their actions, So you tell the person, this isn't right. You shouldn't have done this way. There's a better way of doing it. He or she may not agree with you at first, but by the time you're gone, you would have left an impression.
Chris, I've met quite a number of people, or let me say quite a number of people. I've met maybe one or two people who, despite even letting them know that they have a problem, they still will not agree with you. Despite showing them all the steps, giving them all the identification of all the problems that you guys are facing at the moment. They still don't see their actions as wrong. How do you deal with people like that?
Well, we have to keep reorientating. We just have to. When you see an adult that is misbehaving, it's proof positive of a child that was not properly trained. So it's easier to train a child, to correct a child, and to correct an adult.
Yeah.
So let's start from somewhere. In as much as we're correcting the adults, most of the things that are happening now has an offtake from our educational system, which has to be looked into.
All right, please kindly hold that thought.
Okay.
All right, we have another caller on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Hello, good evening. This is Sister P.
All right, please, can you speak a little bit louder?
This is Sister P. So,
okay, Sister P. So, what's your contribution today?
about the throwing things on the road. I take a car to Lagos. The driver just finished drinking the bottle of the water and throw it. And I said, Oga, why did you throw that thing like that? Don't you know it's not good? You know what is timing? He said, Madam, this one a road. Go to Ikoyi, go and see road. If they do this road where I will not throw things on it. I say, it doesn't matter now. All this thing is not good. He said, I beg. If they do it very well, something will tell me not to throw that thing. So this one not be road. I just kept quiet. Thank you.
All right. Many thanks, Sister Peace, for sharing all your experience with the driver. And I think this leads to the mindset and how we look at things around us. I keep telling people, when you were talking about reorientation, I say to people that reorientation, as far as I'm concerned, is problem solving. It provides basis for entrepreneurship and also source of innovation. And I would like you to let our audience know that entrepreneurship are solution finders and are providers who try to meet people halfway in bridging that gap of challenges that we face. How can our audience get to understand that?
Okay, the first thing you need to ask yourself as an entrepreneur, what is your motive, the purpose for doing what you're doing? Okay? You want to get into this business, you want to go into this line of industry. What is the purpose? There has to be a purpose. There has to be a plan. for that. And for every, my organization, for instance, we have 3 pillars, okay? Philosophies, so to say, business philosophy. One is, the first one is people. The second one is brand. The third one is nation. So I'll take a cue from the third one. The third one, we say we're in business. We do the things we do so that we can create an enabling environment for economic growth and human development. So that has been our perception, our orientation. So the reason why we want to expand, the reason why we want to, we're doing the things we're doing, is not just for ourselves, because we want to improve on the economy. We want more people, to be given opportunity to experience and do the things they would love to do.
Many thanks for that submission. If you're just tuning in, this is Real Talk with Kike, and we are with Chris Moweta, a brand strategist and a creative analyst. He has been on the show to navigate for us ways of solving problems. He has taken us on a tour of creativity, innovation at personal organizational level, and national level as well. Indeed, an honor to have him on the show today with us in the studio. So please join us by calling our phone lines 0700 923 923 923. Again, 0700 923 923 923. And of course, you can send us a WhatsApp message on 0817 313 6193. Let's hear your perspective on the topic at hand. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have experiences you want to share with us, like just all the callers that have been calling all along. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from, please? Many thanks for calling.
Good evening, Kike. This is Aziz calling from Wariwa.
All right. Good evening, Aziz. I know this voice. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. It's a pleasure to have Chris Moweta on the show, and I've been following through all the way. But I do have a question for the guest on the show.
Okay.
My simple contribution is this. There are quite a number of problems at personal level, even at national level, affecting Nigerians. But I hate to point accusing fingers, but we need to understand that the government plays a major role in rectifying these problems. Yes, you want to evoke an individual to thinking creatively, bringing out positive thoughts, making innovative ideas into the economy, into the system, the society, and all sorts. But however, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs has let us understand that basic needs, when they are not fulfilled, human beings cannot get to think or think positively or think contributively. For example, the average Nigerian is hungry, is fighting with poverty, is fighting with starvation, is fighting with unemployment, is fighting with providing himself needs like security and all sorts. How do you expect that person to be productive in the first place or even think?
Sure.
So we need to understand that, while everybody is a stakeholder at personal level and even at national level, but the government has a lot of roles to play by providing infrastructure, providing basic needs, so that a human being can be at optimal capacity in terms of thinking creatively and innovatively. That is why you say that when many Nigerians leave the shores of Nigeria, they get out there, they spark like stars, because they have everything enabling in the system over there. So that's just my little contribution on the show today.
All right. Many thanks, Abdulaziz, for that. You just, we need to bring you to the studio and educate us more. What do you have to say to the submission before I go into it?
Okay, thank you very much, Abdulaziz, for your submission. You're very correct. The government is not actually being exonerated or excused from their responsibility. But what we're saying is that while we still expect the government to do what they should do, the reason for which we elected them, we also have our individual roles to play. So let's start from where we are. Yes, there could be unemployment, there could be hunger in the land, there could be different challenges we're facing as a people, as a nation. But even at that, you as an individual, the question we should ask sometimes that I ask myself is, who is government. Okay? Government, we need to put a face to government. We know government is beyond the people that are up there. They have a responsibility. But I am a government in my immediate environment. So let me do what I have to do. Government should do what they have to do. But if they don't do what they have to do, should I allow that affect my inspiration? Should I allow that affect my pursuit? I shouldn't. So government has its role to play. But we're looking at you as an individual, because we found out that what most people do, especially in this climb, is that we keep blaming the government, which is, you can criticize the government all you want to do. You can blame the government all you want to do. That may not bring the desired change that we want. Okay. So if someone like Abdulaziz becomes the local government chairman of his community, there is some level of assurance that there is going to be a change from listening to him. You can imagine him becoming the local government chairman, becoming the state governor, becoming the president.
With the kind of mindset he has.
With the kind of mindset
and
that
the
he has.
Provided,
so let's take Abdulaziz as an influencer in his community. So he influences those that are within his immediate environment, sphere of contact. With that, because government is made of people, with that, we know that with time, it might not be immediate, but with time, there's going to be...
All right.
We're going to begin to see...
Can you hold that thought, please?
Okay,
we have another caller on the line. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from, please? Hello? All right, we lost that. Please go ahead.
So, it's all about the mindset. Government is made up of people. Okay. Just like you and I. They come from families, they come from communities, they come from states, they come from places where we can relate with.
All right.
So,
okay, thanks for that. On this show, I have interviewed a writer and a marketing expert. His name is Rajiv Dwell, I think an Indian man who highlighted that we need to find our lost self first before we can reach our potentials, and do we need to create? So my question is, do we need to create thinking to find ourselves, or we need a special type of thinking that will put a solution to quite a number of our problems?
We all have the solution in us. Okay. We all do. We all do. For those who may want to disagree, it's because they've not looked inward deep enough. The solution is with us. One of the things that I've found out to be a major challenge is the discipline and the conviction to do the right thing.
Can you hold your thoughts on that? Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Yeah, good evening. My name is... I just want to contribute.
All right, please go ahead.
Alan.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say something about the power of the law.
Okay.
I know that we have a lot of roles to play as individuals. But I want to tell you, where the law is upright, where the law is straightforward, people are forced to comply with the law, and you begin to see environment changing. The reason you see is as if we are people, when they travel abroad, they do better. It's simply because there is an upright law. A law that does not, that is not partial. A law that fears nobody. A law that is meant to, even when those implementing the law, if they go wrong, they are held accountable. That is why we are having a problem. A lot of people are demoralized. So many things are not going the way it should go. That is why things are not going. Go and see in our local communities. Like in where I'm staying, is a community we came and accepted that yes, we can do things right. I want to tell you, we put electricity by ourselves, even though we have been given high bills and every other thing. We put the light by ourselves, we do the road ourselves, nearly, and we make things right. You understand? And most of the times we are demoralized today because the light we put by ourselves, they don't give us light, they give us a project view. The road we do for ourselves, it is not to see the road that the local government people realize that they can make money from that. They begin to tell you, come and pay this, come and pay that. There was a period we made appeal that government should do this for us. You know what they told us? That side of the state, that in their map, that is recognized as farm. I'm giving you a true life story. It's recognized as farm. But when we, decorating the place, putting it right, they no longer farm. They now send government agencies to come and levy us from one level.
All right, many thanks for that. I think I get your message right there. What do you have to say to his, I know it's a frustrating situation for most people who are in Nigeria with a lot of things not working for them. You can see this now. I think something like this, there's no how you can have a creative mind, or you can embrace any innovation or whatever that is. What can you say to a listener like this?
Okay, I'll take it from where you start. Your mind, most times, the creative mind, innovation is actually activated when you face the most challenging situation.
Yes.
The government has a role to play. We've said that over and over again. But the things that they've done in his community, for instance, they were able to do that because they were thinking differently. But they had to put their minds to it. They had a better orientation. They had a better mindset. But that the government isn't supportive of what they have done, or taking advantage, actually, of what they have done to now begin to build them, try to get something from them which they didn't give to them, shouldn't stop anyone from continuing in doing what they're doing. I tell people, anyone who lives and survives in Nigeria can live and survive.
I agree with you. And this will be my last question, and I will be grateful if you can answer in 1 minute. On a lighter note, we know that you are a brand and marketing professional, and exclusively on Real Talk with Kike, you have been keeping it real, sharing a lot of tips with our listeners. So give us some marketing techniques and brand strategy tips that you think that you can share with our listeners right now.
Okay, the first thing that I would say is that people don't buy things. They buy brands that deliver value to them.
See?
So when you go to the market, you're not going to the market to buy something. You're going to buy a brand that delivers value to you. And the market is not out there. The market is in the human mind. So that's why we have a lot of communication and engagement. What are we doing? We're building the market in your mind. So when someone like Kike is going to the mall to shop, the market is not in the mall. We already situated the market in your mind. So everywhere you go, you carry that market. So people don't buy things, they buy brands that deliver value to them.
All right, many thanks for that submission. Thank you, Chris. It was a pleasure sharing your wealth of knowledge and your experts in the studio today. I'm sure quite a number of listeners have been blessed today with a lot of nuggets that you've shared with them. All right, so our closing remark, Moweta personality from Goldberg, is a quote from Maya Angelou that says that you can't use up creativity. The more you use, the more you have. And yes, creativity only begets creativity as well. So let's use our God-given brains wisely. Just also like our guests have also emphasized that you cannot buy what you cannot what?
People don't buy things, they buy brands that deliver value.
All right, many thanks for that. So I come your way next week. This is where I draw the curtains of the show. And of course, for all our listeners that have been calling in back to back, many thanks for always calling on this show. But I'm sorry I couldn't pick everybody's call. All right, my name remains Atanda-owo, and you've been on Real Talk with Kike. Bye now.